My pets are there. Some good news, anyway. I wasn't going to go live. I'm basically just ready after coming back there about 20 minutes ago. So it's been a long evening, basically. Just to say, so yeah, good bit to talk about. But now I know I'd said a few times I wasn't going to be live today, but here we are again. Oh shit! Here we go again. But yeah, I get into in a second explaining what's happening. Hello, Kevin. How are you today? How was things? How was your? I forgot there was a day of the week. It is Tuesday. How was Tuesday going for you? Good news, Anna. Good news. Hello, Gwynfield. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's a good while since I've talked to you. But yeah, some good news now. I'm going to keep you in suspense for about 5 minutes. Have that. Good evening, Sean. How are you? Yeah, keep it in suspense for another hour or two. How about that? How does that sound? What? No, I keep you in suspense for another minute or two. How about that? But yeah, so yeah, anybody else want to take a guess apart from Sean? The fire on the bar so with some friends. Very good, very good. It sounds very nice evening, Kevin. At least you're having a very nice evening. As long as him and Ryan doesn't come along and take your fire. You wouldn't want that then. But as long as you're enjoying yourself, Kevin, it's always good to have some friends around and relaxing on a nice on the work week, having a bit of a break after work. Hello, Fishman. How are you doing? But yeah, so anybody want to hear the good news? Hello, Davy. No top fires allowed. No fires at all. You're not allowed. Him and Ryan say so because of the environment. But China has 900 coal plants. We're not allowed to talk about that, unfortunately. Talking about protests, look, it's reasonable what the people want. They want to keep it at, the age it is. I can't think of the age at the top of my head. So, at the end of the day, and particularly because again the politicians, President Macron didn't want to do a vote in Parliament, even though it did go ahead and it was narrowly voted down, basically. But the vast majority of the public, which obviously the politicians follow what the public wants, and the public want it to stay the way it is. So, they don't want it to be changed. So, the politicians should respect that. And particularly as you see, there's many people. We're talking about maybe 2 million, probably people protesting, and and that's a lot of people now. That's a lot of people. So they have to live. They have to live up to the will of the people, basically. Because at the end of the day, they're the politicians' masters. The politicians take the orders from the people. And that's the way it is. Obviously, first of all, I condemn any of the violence. People being attacked and stuff, and taking owning properties and looting properties and things like that's obviously not the way to go. But the vast majority of people wanted to stay the same, and it should stay the same. That's my opinion. I don't think they should change it in any way. Unless they do a national vote on it and everybody votes on it. But I would say the people, vast majority of people, in fact, probably good 90% of people want just to stay the same. So, that's just my opinion. But anyway, long story short, we're back into the Tidy Towns competition. You remember last year I said we wouldn't end to it. We're back in business this year, basically. The business is booming. So we're back in the game, boys. So I'm going to be 50 times more busier now with everything. So isn't that great? I'm going to be one of the roads all day, every day. Isn't it great? You won't see me half of the time at all now. So I'll be one of the roads. Just cleaning my phone, sorry. So yes, that's the news. So that's where I'm after coming from. We had a big committee meeting. There, earlier on. So that's why I wasn't live earlier on. I didn't really intend to go live either. So, but that's good news and it's some positive news. Yeah, oh God, Kevin, come with a whole paragraph for me. In the news. With pollution, but they have no problem letting us cycle and walk. Getting rid of what? Getting rid of. Well, they have no problem with that, obviously, No problem with that. It's only when it becomes an issue for the narrative of the government, then it becomes a problem. But yeah, so pretty much what that means, to tell you we're back into the Tidy Towns competition, is that it means that I won't be live as much probably during this, particularly after Easter. We probably starting going, I'd be going fucking full on. If you think it's full on at the moment, you have to wait and see until after Easter. So basically total mobilisation, basically. We're going total mob. I'm going to wing up my friend Zelensky. Zelensky's going to give me loads of money to help me out in this tough time. I'm going to go to Joe Biden and ask for money too. So we'll be all peachy, basically. Joe Biden. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're not literally going to do that. But so it literally during the summer now, I don't know we'll be live at all in the evenings. But we have to take it from there. But basically, it wasn't really my decision. Everybody wanted to kind of go back into it after last year. They kind of wanted the year's break. And that's what they did. We didn't go in last year to this competition. So that's why they want to go in this year. They wanted to take a bit of a break and then go back to it fresh. With new ideas and new ways of looking at it, I suppose. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to be bussing, in other words. So what do people think of that? I know probably I'm not making any sense at all. But yeah, basically it's been a long night. I've been talking for a good long time. Like we started at 7:30 there. And I got out just there before 9:30. So we were there a good few hours, basically non-stop talking. So basically I've been talking the majority of the night, basically. So talk. So that's why if I sound a bit tired, that's because of that. But yeah, so some good news and a good positive news and some positive news. I don't think people probably give a shit, but anyway. But like, why do I care? So yeah. So yeah, I don't think anybody cared. Is Davey still here for 1 minute? If Davey is here, he might have just left. Yes, Davey's probably left, and it's not important now. Maybe my chat might be broken. Maybe that's what it. No, it's not broken. Yeah, so we're not going to be live for long, I know. I just said to come on to say that. So yeah. Hello, Shawnee. How are you? Anyway, so we'll be back in business anyway. So 8,000 steps, about 6.5 kilometers, 1 or 2 days a week. So I'd probably do that 5 times over, basically. Can reduce the risk of mortality. Fucking great. Yeah, in many news, we're back in the Tidy Towns competition. Remember last year, I don't know if you remember, but I remember I said, and I was annoyed about it, that we didn't enter the competition. The Tidy Towns, like the official Tidy Towns competition. So this year we had a meeting. That's basically where it was this evening. At the meeting, we decided by a few votes now. There's a few people saying no, that we shouldn't join it. Like this year, like join the Tidy Towns competition, like the competition itself. So we did vote, and majority of people did want to go with the competition this year. So basically, the plan was originally anyway that we take a few years off and then we come back to it fresh and stuff like that. So that's basically we're basically starting it early, basically, because I wasn't expecting us to do it until probably next year, to be totally honest, to enter the competition. So we kind of start a bit earlier than intended, basically. I know you're probably like, what kind of news is that? But yeah, so that basically means during the summer now, you probably see me few and far between, basically. If you think it's bad already, waiting to see during the summer now, when the long evenings come in, you won't see me at all, literally won't see me at all. You'd see me in the middle of the night, maybe. But, you know. Well, like, in which regard and what regard? There's not really any targets. Like, we're trying to beat the last score we got, which is where's the sheets here somewhere. I don't know where the results here. I can look at the report from 2000. So so it's 270 points. 73 points, excuse me, we have to beat. So that's in terms of the Tidy Towns marking system, to beat 273. If we can. That's really the only goal at the moment. I don't think we're going to win the whole Cavan. I think that's too optimistic. Because there's a town in Cavan called Red Hills. And there's literally not a hope in financial terms or anything that you could beat them. Because you probably have heard the Word of the Country was filmed in Red Hills, and Playboy was filmed in Red Hills and stuff like that. And they have walls in Red Hills that, that are very historic, I suppose, walls. And basically, they get all the grads of the day, basically. They get literally hundreds of... Like, I'm not even joking. Last year, they got €100,000 from Calvin County Kids at Red Hills Tidy Towns for different projects. Obviously favoritism, basically. And I would nearly say, because there's obviously far more than what only other towns in Cavan get, basically, for Tidy Towns competition. Like, they get a huge amount, basically, for Red Hills. So obviously they come on top every year in Cavan. And it'd be a miracle now if we could go anywhere near-handed, basically. If we could even get in the ballpark of it, it'd be a miracle. And simply, we wouldn't have the fun to basically compete with them, basically. And then the sheer manpower. Like, even though it's a small village, where it is, it's just fucking people down there walking fucking, I don't know what they walk, but they walk fucking on grass or something, because they just literally don't stop fucking going. They just literally keep going and going. Like, whatever about Buttersbridge, I'm used to keep going and going. The majority of people in Buttersbridge are elderly people, senior citizens, basically. But the people in Red Hills, even though they're old people, they can still keep going and going and going. And they're just able to keep going. Like, they just don't stop. So, I don't know. It must be something in the water down there. Are you talking about Mount Nugent, what? Yeah, probably back in the day. Buttersbridge and Mount Nugent used to be always the towns that win the best back years ago in Cavan. In the beginning of the competition, the 60s and 70s, they used to be always fucking winning the Mount Nugent and Buttersbridge. Like, they never was anybody else but Buttersbridge or Mount Nugent used to win it. Red Hills didn't even have a Tidy Towns back then. It was only up into the 80s they started the Tidy Towns group in Red Hills, and since then they kind of always been doing good. And Buttersbridge kind of fell off probably a good bit. That's why when I came along, in around 2014, 2015, they came along and started it back up again. After about nearly 10 years vacancy basically for not being there a decade basically in the competition. Long story short, basically. Oh no, we're not talking about Wet Hills. Like they have old stone walls that were in the movie, the one in the country and stuff like that. And the very old walls that date back to I don't know, fucking about 400 or 500 years, six maybe even 1,000 years old or something like that. Like they're fucking very old. And basically every year the county council give them so much to maintain them basically. So we're talking lots of money now, more than any other tiny towns will get for the walls alone, and obviously have a bit extra on the side too. So it's impossible. And as I say, the people in White House walk on fucking. I don't know what they'll walk on, but they just literally don't stop. They just walk and walk and walk and walk, and they just literally refuse to take a break basically. So it's impossible to beat people that are just like the fucking Japanese army during the World War Two. That's somebody that just won't give up basically. But God, like it is impossible. So, but yeah, obviously it's changed a lot in the years by the Frosty and stuff like that, and places go wild, and there's loads of. It's not just about litter and keeping the streets clean and stuff like that. There's loads of other categories. There's loads of categories for it. If you look up any tiny towns result, particularly now, it's all about diversity, biodiversity, nature, sustainability, like litter and stuff nowadays. Years ago, it used to be always about litter and keeping the streets clean, keeping the weeds down and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's just about literally everything. The politician of the Finnish. Well, you can ring up, get Santa Maria on the phone and ask, can we get a loan from the Finnish government, please? If you can. Could write a letter. But yeah, so I don't know. They were talking tonight. This is the next part. They were talking tonight about doing a camp, like a fundraising. Like you should do it every what am I trying to say? You should do it every year, bucket collection, basically. So we're thinking about something else too. So we might see. We were thinking about doing an online campaign for people to donate if people wanted to. And they asked me last year to do it, and I kind of said I would do it, and then I didn't do it. Basically, let's put it that way. So I don't know. They haven't asked me yet, but I think they're probably going to ask me eventually, basically. Because they want to get the tiny towns. They're talking about getting new mowers for cutting the grass. So they want to get that eventually. So I know, but I don't want to. That's the thing. As I said before, I hate asking people for money. I hate that even for charity. I hate just asking. Like that's why they wouldn't. I'm the only one that won't do the bucket collection here. I just refuse to go out and put the bucket up to people's faces and make them donate. But not make them, but like I don't know. There's something in me that I just don't like doing. So we'll wait and see if they talk to me about it. Like they mentioned it this evening that they want to do something with online, like something something like what they've talked to me before about GoFundMe and stuff like that. Like they're going to do a bucket collection at some point. We actually filled it out this evening to the An Garda Síochána O'Connell to look for a permit to have a bucket collection, because you have to do that before they allow you. So so basically it'll be a while now. You could buy tickets. Yeah, well, they could do something like that, but I have to probably speak to them. But the main thing at the moment is getting the bucket collection, what they're talking about. But they did say about it, but I don't know. Like my brain kind of was mush after about a half an hour, because we were talking about so many different things we could do. Like I was there literally from 7:30 to really 9:30, and obviously literally not even taking a break, just constantly talking, listening. Your brain just turns to mush basically with everything that was happening. And then obviously I literally was writing about a fucking 9-page essay on what we could do and what we can't do and what is possible, and it's basically it's a lot basically to take in about 2 hours. So we have to wait and see, I suppose. But definitely we have to see about 2 new mowers. Like that's it's not really a question. that we really have to get, I suppose, because the mowers that we have at the moment, about 15 years old, and they've seen better days, and they're just trundling along basically. They are about to go. Like we got them serviced. We got them basically done up, checked and everything done up. But as the people said, it only has another, could be 2 more years. That's all it has. So we might as well get them now if we can at some point some point at the end of the year, before the end of the year anyway. Before they get too out of date, basically, because they are out of date very, very soon. In 2 years' time, most likely we're not one, regardless of what we do. Because they are 15 years old, going on probably 16 years this year. So they're well worked machines, So we kind of have to look into that. And obviously that'd be good for you, Bob. Let's put it that way. There's money. There's some money for it. There's some money. We looked already about community grants, from the local authority. But it's probably not that much, to be totally honest. Because to be totally honest, what the councils want nowadays, like it's going that way now by 2030. They don't really want you to cut any grass unless you really, really have to. The what places to go wild. It's all about biodiversity and stuff like that. So that's why they're very reluctant, the councils and all that, to give you grants for mowers and for trimmers and stuff. They don't want you to cut the grass. So it won't be as much. Like back years ago, when they got them mowers, there was no problem. They would have been a fair few bob when they were got. I don't know how many years ago. They would have been a fair few bob back then. Let's put it that way. It would have been a lot of money now back then. When they got it 15 years ago. When was 15 years ago? I wasn't. I take for. But we're not talking. We had to talk to them about the tickets and stuff. If we were going to do something like that. But I think the bucket collection at the moment, we get because obviously we probably have to look for a permit off on Garda Street and Corner too. So, I mean, an organic farm scheme. You own a farm scheme. Oh, very good. But you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So that you wouldn't get much. Like years ago, like when they got the mowers 15 years ago, they would have probably got the full price for it. Basically, they could cover the whole lot of it. And they probably would have been, at that time, it would have been probably 3,000 for the 2 mowers. And the council would have straight away just given them 3,000, basically. Nowadays, it's very different. If you want to get 2, say there were 4,000 each, 2,000 for each, right? Because there's 2 mowers. Back years ago, the council would have fully covered that. Would have been like, here, the community group of the tiny towns, here's the 4,000 for the 2 mowers. You don't have to pay a penny, basically. The taxpayer covered. But nowadays the council will probably only give you, if you're lucky, 200 maybe to cover the 2. You have to buy 2 new ones. If you're lucky, again, if you're lucky, they give you 200 or maybe 400. That's literally what the grants are for new mowers and stuff like that. They basically give you nothing for it, basically. Because they don't want to entice communities to let things go wild and not to bother cutting it, basically. That's what they're trying to do. So we have to look into it. But there's money. We have money already there. If we wanted to buy, we could probably buy 1. Let's put it that way. I think we have enough for 1, but we might not have the second one. No fertilizer, yeah. But it's all right. I have no problem letting some parts. Like there's some parts of the village allowed to go wild. Beside the river and stuff like that, because it's out of the way. It's not in the way of people. But along some roads and stuff like that, where there's corners and stuff like that, obviously needs to be cut, because it's a danger to traffic and danger to the public's safety. And then obviously in some main spots, like in the main parts of the village, where people would, young children would play football and stuff during the summer, obviously they need to be cut and stuff like that. So. But yeah, that's the main thing now we have to do. For insects. Yeah, we have a bug hotel here for bugs and stuff like that. Loads of bugs in it. But flooding. Not really. Not that bad. During now when it's very bad, when it's constantly raining for a few days, yeah, the drains do get overloaded. Very quickly. Say if it's 3 days of constant rain, it does get overloaded. But the majority of the time I clean the tops of the drains. I take out all the stuff at the tops of the drains. But obviously you can't get into the very, very bottom of the drains. So some of the drains at the bottom are a bit clogged, I will admit that. But it does get a bit flooded now after 3 days. But some of the drains, like inside the drain, like the tops of the drains, I clean off, and obviously the water can freely run into all the drains, basically. But the drains haven't been cleaned out, like in the drains. It's the same as the council. The council don't want to do that nowadays. I remember, even when I was young, I remember seeing the council. Yeah, clogged with leaves, and even the amount of water sometimes it's just too much for the drains to handle. Um, but I even remember years ago the council used to be lifting up the drains. When I was younger, when I was a child, about 6 or 7, I remember the council doing that, lifting up the drains and taking the stuff out, like lifting the iron bar off the top of the drain and going into the drain and taking the stuff out, cleaning it out. Nowadays, you're not allowed to do that. It's in the regulation. You're not allowed. The council are not allowed to do it unless they have to. It's all contracted away. It's all contracted, and it never's really done. I never see it being done anywhere. It would be kind of a village, yeah. It wouldn't be called as a town, even though I would probably refer to it as a town, but it would be classified as a village, because under the county council's what they call it, development plan, it's always referred to as a village. Because the categories there of the development plan, it's always like village. You probably would have liked this, Sean, if you were into your insects and your farm and stuff. We have the first bush shelter in Ireland that is, what they call it, biodiversity. It has grass in the top of it and stuff for bugs and stuff like that. It's the first in the Republic of Ireland. What do you call it? Can't think of the name. It escapes me. But it was quite a few bob. It cost 20-something thousand. But thankfully, Cavan County Council did cover the vast majority of it. I think it was 23,000. Yeah, so Cavan County Council covered. I think it was 21,000 of it. Yeah, and then the community raised the rest. For a bus shelter now. You've probably seen it. Yeah, I talked about it before. But yeah, I think I showed it before. I could get the link. There was an Anglo South article about it. But yeah, it was the first in the country. Like they have them in the Netherlands and stuff. But yeah, no, we got that. That was back 3 years ago. It's dead beside the Devil Gavada. But yeah, no, obviously we wouldn't have been able to afford it only for we got a community. Because obviously anything with biodiversity now and stuff like that, the council would just throw the money at you, basically. But anything to do with kind of cutting grass and things like that, you're not going to get much money for it, let's put it that way. Like in terms of doing stuff. Like biodiversity, if we said we wanted to build a house made out of, I don't know, logs or something, and we're going to put insects into it or whatever, the council basically need to cover all the cost. Because the government's plan is just for biodiversity and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do anyway. I see about this book collection. We sent it in anyway for Gardish and O'Connor for them to give us the license for it whenever they want to do it. We're kind of aiming for the end of February or some point there. End of February, end of April, sorry. February. April, the end of April, sorry. And that's what we're hoping. So maybe we might be a bit too late to apply for it yet, but we have sent it in, so they're getting them on it. So we have to see what the council, but I don't see a problem with it basically. And we're going to do probably another bake sale too at some point for the Tidy Towns, because last year we did a bake sale. Actually, where's the financial report? So I have my financial report here. So from the cake sale, we had a cake sale last year, one stage, even though we wasn't in it, but we were doing what they call them. we got loads of new hanger baskets, self-watering hanger baskets. You know the way you can. They were very expensive now. The self-watering hanger baskets. So basically, you fill them up once a week, and they water themselves whenever they need to be watered. So they were very handy, but they were very expensive now. So, but that's what we got. So obviously saved. So you only have to do it on a Monday, basically, unless it's really really hot. Like last year, it was really really hot at some stage, and we had to do it a few times a week because it was that hot. The water just dried up in it, like literally did. But it's mainly just, obviously for Ireland, the majority of the time it's just cloudy and it's not much happening. But for the cake sale last year, we nearly raised 800 basically for the cake sale. And for the bucket collection, we had a 1 day bucket collection last year, one bite, and we raised 1,600. And that went towards nearly all the self-watering cans because they were very expensive now. Then obviously we got ladders. We got new ladders and stuff for to put the baskets up and stuff like that when we would need to take them down, and stuff like that. We got new watering cans and stuff like that. So, and that's what we did last year. So it's good. So we hopefully, please God, it'll be the same this year. Now. We have kind of the same. So hopefully so. We see, we might do so if we could do after or something like that, as he says. Everybody says here we could do that. But I have to probably talk to them. We probably have to look for. Well, we have to do it anyway for the cake sale, and we have to look for. Actually, no, we probably don't know. We do have to. We didn't do it last year, though. It's a community thing. We don't need to gather what they got permission to do it. It's only when you're on the road you have to get permission. Like when you're doing bucket collections around the village or something. So yeah, what do we think of that now? I suppose I rambled on for a few minutes now. So we have to see anyway how it goes anyway. But we're not really officially started, even though I'd be out and about, as I usually do. Hello, Super, how you doing? Any PS5 gameplay? Not really tonight, no. A bit too tired for that now. But definitely tomorrow night now. So we're just a bit too tired after it all now. Like more my throat than anything else, if anything in your throat. But should we see, but definitely during the summer now I won't be as live as often. Because obviously be out more. We'll be out anyway, so but you know what I'm saying. Like Joe Biden now, just some of my words. Yeah, Sleepy Joe, I'm nearly like myself. Would be doing it. Yeah, we won't say too much longer than tonight anyway. Another 10 minutes or so and then we tip on. Because I have work in the morning, so I need to get up for that too. No, it's always on the go. Would you bother going to see Dopey Joe if he was in the next room? I don't think it would bother. Like, who would want to see Joe Biden? Like, let's be fair, I don't even think he would know what a room is, let's be fair. Or where he is, or what time is it, and where is he, you know. Like, you know, why would anybody want to go and see Joe Biden? Hello, Tony. Basically long story, I've already talked about it for 5 times. Basically long story, but, you know, kind of put 2 and 2 together, I suppose. It's going to be another piss and wet day tomorrow, wait, you see. Well, it didn't rain that much today, but it's kind of still fucking visible. Had Adrian Buttons made, what? Oh, you mean the thing, yeah. 4. Wait, we playing golf, Tony? 4. You know the way they shout when they're playing golf, 4. Though they shout, what did they shout for, yeah? He even knew he was in Ireland. The weather would put years on you. Yeah, like Joe Biden would. I don't even think he would know if he came to Ireland now in the morning. I don't even think he would know he was in Ireland. Like, let's be fair. I don't even think he knows where he is, even in America. Like, he definitely has dementia. Like, let's be fair. And he shouldn't really be president of the free world if he doesn't even know what day of the week it is. Well, obviously some people don't know what day of the week it is, but generally when you're the leader of the free world, you know. Oh, you mean 4? I thought you were playing golf, Tony. It was like, why are you playing golf in the middle of the night? No. And the worst thing is that he could be there again until he's 90. You know, that's the worst thing about it. Like, he's actually probably going to win again. Either that or it'll be Hillary Clinton again. I think Hillary Clinton might go again for the Democratic Party. Because I don't see who else in the Democratic, unless AOC, Alexander Cortez, goes or throws her hat into the ring. I don't see. You know, I do, because obviously it's, I still don't know who it's going to be for the Republicans. It could be Ron DeSantis, or it could be Donald Trump. So, you know, it's still kind of up in the air who will get it. You know, because it definitely is good. Ron DeSantis is definitely going to go. You know, and Donald Trump has already confirmed he's going. But Ron DeSantis probably will go. Like, we all know he probably will go for the presidency. So that's going to split the Republican Party very divided, basically. So we have to wait and see. But obviously the Democratic Party need to get somebody that's very strong and might win. Obviously, God bless us and save us if Kamala Harris goes for the Democratic Party. Like, you remember when the Kamala Harris, before she became the vice president, everybody in the mainstream media was jumping up and down, and all of a sudden now they're not jumping up and down with her. Because mainly the only thing I ever heard Kamala Harris talking about was electric school buses. Literally, that's all she talked about. She loved electric school buses. Nothing else. She didn't care about anything else. But and every time she couldn't answer a question, she just laugh about it. But definitely you shouldn't have been allowed to run for president if he's, you know, if he can't know what day the well, you know, if he doesn't know what he's doing, basically. Which is basically just the truth, you know. You obviously need to know what you're doing. Obviously, if you're a nuclear powered state, first of all, that has a huge arsenal of nuclear weapons, it's obviously the arsenal of democracy, basically the beacon of the West, the leader of the free world. You know, you kind of have to have your wits about you, basically. Let's put it that way. You know, just saying, it doesn't really matter if the Irish president didn't know what day of the week it was, because obviously it's very little consequences to the state, you know, as only a figurehead, you know, of the state. Maybe it's commander in chief of the army, but let's be fair. Look at the army at the moment. and say, that he's doing a good job as commander in chief. But yeah. What's the army? People say. I don't think, because it doesn't seem like Donald Trump likes DeSantis, to be totally honest. I don't think he does. I don't know. It's kind of still up in the air. He could throw his hat in the way. Because it doesn't seem like Donald Trump has much time, to be totally honest. Just what I got. But maybe you're right, Sean. I just don't know. I'm just taking a blind shot. We could go for what they call Kerry Long's, the Arizona. Go whatever. Don't think she's governor, whatever. Well, I can't think of the name. Yeah, her in Arizona. Oh, everything's dying in the game. Aye, but we'd have to say, suppose. Yeah, I suppose if you say that, if Biden won, yeah. But yeah, somebody. I don't think the Democratic Party are going to let him win. Like, he'd be nearly 90 by the time he leaves the White House if he does, survive that length of time. Because obviously, life expectancy in America is about 70 something. And obviously, that's a very. I'm sure you know yourself. It's a very. You have to be on the go all the time, basically, as president of the United States. It's a demanding job for an old man. So I don't know, but I can't see who else they're gonna get in the Democratic Party to go, and one, for the presidency, unless it's AOC, as to say, because the majority of the Democratic Party voters are young people, that really kind of just kind of vote Democrat because why not? Because I don't know, lunatic agenda. So they're more likely to vote for AOC or some of them. So, because obviously you need somebody that's well known too. You can't just want somebody that does out of the blue, that doesn't know much. Like, even if I still think Mike Pence, the former vice president, will try maybe for the Republican nomination as president. But I don't think he would get it. I think that would fail probably today. But he could. But I don't think that'll work out. Or maybe he would switch sides and go for, the Democrats basically, which I could see probably happening. Ooh, I'm a bit. Ooh, there. Ooh, what the fuck? Why is this happening? Yeah, so I think we'll leave it there for tonight. Why does this keep moving? That should be fine for the moment now. It shouldn't move. No, it's not moving again. So we leave it there for tonight. If there's anything else before we go, please let me know. Good night, yeah, because I'm a bit too tired now after speaking all that time tonight. So yeah, we'll be back at Far Cry tomorrow and walk in the morning. Listen to it. I do wish it was Saturday now. If I had an extra hour in the morning just to lie in, if it was Saturday. But unfortunately, I do have that luxury tomorrow. But anyway, it'll be Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, so we'll find an hour to Saturday and have an hour or two extra on Saturday just to relax. I don't know what to talk about. I never seen my short. I don't even know what a short is. I'm putting it out the stops. Okay, my camera's even having a fit with me. So yeah, take care, everyone. Oh my God, Joe Biden. Yeah, stop, please. Why are you zooming in? So yeah, take care, everyone. If I could turn off the bloody thing. Take care, everyone.